Any members' statements?
President.
Thank you. The Honourable Placey Hurst.
Thank you, President. I rise to set the recommend attention that today is Rare Cancer Awareness Day, a day to shine a light on the approximately 40,000 Australians who are diagnosed each year with a rare or less common cancer. And for me, like many others, both in this House and in the community, this day is deeply personal. 1 in 4 cancer diagnoses in Australia are considered rare or less common. Yet these cancers account for nearly half of all cancer-related deaths. That's because rare cancers are often diagnosed too late, have no known treatment, and have limited research. Patients face limited options, delayed answers, and an overwhelming sense of isolation. Today is a day to recognise all of those who have faced that journey: patients, survivors, carers, loved ones, and those who've lost their battle, and to say, you are not forgotten. And as we mark Rare Cancer Awareness Day, we also look ahead to Sarcoma Awareness Month in July, and to WA Sarcoma Awareness Week, which begins next week. Sarcomas are a family of more than 80 rare cancers that form in the bone and soft tissue. They account for about 10% of cancers in children and 9% in adolescents and young adults. And it is now predicted that sarcoma will be the leading cause of cancer death in the 0 to 29 age group. And yet public awareness remains low. A lump or an ache can easily be dismissed, especially in young people, as growing pains or sports injuries. But we know that 2 in 5 people with malignant sarcoma will not survive 5 years. And too often, the difference is simply early detection. That's why Socket to Sarcoma shares a simple but powerful message, the 3-week rule. If you have any lump, bump, ache or pain that lasts more than 3 weeks, get it checked. Don't wait. Your health can't wait. This organisation was founded through the vision of Abby Basson, a remarkable young woman who was struck down by a sarcoma at 17 years old and eventually took her life. But Abby's impact didn't end there. She and her family and community built something powerful in her honour, turning heartbreak into advocacy, research and support that now helps countless others. One of those others was me. As members know, in July last year, I was diagnosed with epithelioid hemangioendothelioma, or EHE, an ultra-rare vascular sarcoma that affects just 1 in a million people. It forms in the lining of blood vessels and can appear in soft tissues, the lungs, liver or bones. It's caused by genetic malfunction, a fusion between the WWTR1 and CAMTA1 genes that leads to abnormal cell growth. When I first noticed the lump on my thigh, I didn't think much of it. It was painless. It didn't change quickly, and like many people, I pushed it to the back of my mind. 2 years passed, but the pain grew and there were other symptoms too, like unexplained weight loss and fatigue. I finally spoke to my GP, had an ultrasound and then a biopsy. The surgeon who performed that biopsy told me he had not heard of EHE before. And that's the world of rare cancers. Even the specialists are still learning. In my case, I was lucky, incredibly lucky, that it hadn't spread, that my GP acted so promptly, that the tumour was located in an area that could be operated on, and that I was able to access surgery quickly. And thank you to Dr. Anoka Pereira and Dr. Remo Papini for that. But while I'm grateful that I'm currently in the clear, that's not the end of the story. I live with uncertainty, I constantly check my body for unusual lumps, and I wonder what's happening in the places I can't see, my lungs, my liver and my bones. I live with the fear of it coming back, and I know that I am not alone in that. There are thousands of people in WA and across Australia who are living with that same uncertainty, watching, waiting, hoping that their next scan is clear, or that their tumour hasn't grown, hoping the pain isn't something more, hoping someone, somewhere, is working on the answers they still don't have. And that's why awareness matters. It matters for early detection. It matters for more funding and trials. It matters for connection, because no one should go through this alone. And there is reason for hope. We are incredibly fortunate to have organisations like Sarcoma, or Rare Cancers Australia, or the EHE Rare Cancer Foundation Australia. These groups provide practical support, build community, and fund research that is changing lives, not just for people with rare cancer, but for the entire cancer landscape. In particular, the EHE Foundation in Australia has helped build a global research community and is funding leading-edge studies by Professor Kieran Harvey into the Hippo pathway and the YAP and TAZ proteins that drive EHE. The findings of this research can inform and be applied to other cancers, including breast, colon and lung. Their work shows that the power of focus, collaborative effort and the potential for rare cancer research to unlock discoveries that benefits us all. And I also want to acknowledge the work of the McGowan and Cook governments in this space with the establishment of the Future Health Research and Innovation Fund in 2020 and its continued funding, including $47 million this year. And I also want to acknowledge the work of the Leader of the House, who is out in urgent parliamentary business, Minister Dawson, in this vital program. This month we also celebrate one of WA's most inspiring voices in this space, Sharon Jarvis, a proud Socket to Sarcoma ambassador and two-time Paralympian. At just 7 years old, Sharon was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma and given a 20% chance of survival. But she not only survived, she represented Australia in the world stage of equestrian sport. And this year, she was awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia for her service to Paralympic sport. Congratulations, Sharon Jarvis, OAM. Your journey is a reminder of what's possible and why awareness, research and support matter so deeply. President, I stand here today not just as a Member of Parliament, but as someone who has lived experience of rare cancer. And I will continue to use this platform to help ensure that rare doesn't mean forgotten. As we mark Rare Cancer Awareness Day and prepare for Sarcoma Awareness Month, there is something each of us can do. You can wear a yellow ribbon during Sarcoma Awareness Month like I am today and help start conversations that could save lives. You can know the 3-week rule and share it with at least 3 more people. And you can support organisations making a difference through a donation, especially right now at the end of the financial year, but also through a conversation or by sharing their work. And to everyone living with a rare cancer, and to the carers, families, researchers, advocates, and those who have lost someone they love, I see you and I thank you. And I especially honour those who have lost their battle with rare cancers. Thank you.
The Honourable Amanda Dawn.